What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending what time zone you're in, it's Monday night or Tuesday morning, and y'all know what I always say every Tuesday. It's not our favorite day of the week, but let's just be happy it's not a Monday. All right, you guys, we are officially back. Let me start off by saying we are still in New York City. We are covering the Diddy case live on our YouTube channel, 7 a.m., 12, and 3. If you guys have not checked it out, make sure you check it out on our YouTube page. Just click the live section and you'll see all of our posts there. Very sorry that we have been a little bit erratic on our normal daily podcast. We had Juneteenth off, which is a holiday, a federal holiday here in the U.S., and also Friday. And because of traveling, we weren't able to do a show yesterday. But we are back here, and we will definitely give you a show every day this week, all right? So my daily podcast listeners, the Out Louders, thank you for sticking with us, all right? On with the show. We have two lead stories today. We have Donald Trump saying that the battle with Iran and Israel is over. We'll get into that. And also, Diddy trial day 28. We'll give you guys a summary. You can get the full story on our YouTube live, but we'll definitely give you a recap. Just a little hint. Diddy's defense team has decided to call 0 witnesses to the stand. In quick news, we're going to talk Cameron, the Lakers, Brittany Daly, Offset, Wendy Williams, Kanye West, and Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is actually first. Sorry, I made a little mistake here. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. The NBA crowned the winner last night. Y'all know what time it is. Turn on your TVs, your radio, your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. President Donald Trump announces alleged ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Congratulations to everybody. It's been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire approximately 6 hours from now when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-process final missions for 12 hours, at which point the battle will be considered officially ended. Officials in Iran will start a ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start a ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day battle will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. Upon the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day battle. This is a battle that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Donald J. Trump. All right, this is just in, as I'm recording this now, it is Monday, 8 p.m. So according to Donald Trump, we should see this in 12 hours, which would make it Tuesday, depending what time zone you're in, okay? The caption reads, on Monday, President Trump announced that Israel and Iran have agreed on a complete and total ceasefire in a post via Truth Social. Although Israel and Iran have not made public statements to address the ceasefire, Trump claims the ceasefire will start in around 6 hours, and after 12 hours, the battle will be considered ended. Okay, so as you know, Trump was active over the weekend and launching at 3 nuclear plants in Iran. Okay, now, as you guys know, I normally am, very up to date. I do my due diligence, and I never speak on things that I'm not very familiar with. So that is why I'm going to maybe step aside a little bit for this one. I have been traveling, and I'm in court almost 10 hours a day, and I don't feel myself comfortable to comment too much on this. Just because I haven't done my due diligence. I'm going to leave this to you guys in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. According to the caption, nobody else has made these comments but Donald Trump. We do know that Trump likes to put out things that are not necessarily factual in a way to lead people to what he wants them to do before they're actually done. Will this work? I don't know. Also, what happened over the weekend, I also would like to hold back my my thoughts on that as well. Again, because I don't like to talk about things that I don't know. One thing I will say that I'm very disappointed at with Donald Trump is him not going through the proper channels. From what I know, and admittedly not know too much, so just bear with me. Donald Trump and the Republicans did not tell anybody in the Democratic Party. If I'm wrong on that, please let me know. But from what I've read and the little information that I have seen, Donald Trump did not go through the normal channels before what he did on Saturday. I think that is completely wrong. As you guys know, my daily listeners, I believe in a democratic society. I believe in a democratic government. I am independent, and sometimes if Trump does something right, I will applaud him. If the left, if the Democrats do something, I will applaud them. You guys drag me sometimes for that. But regardless of policy, I do believe that things should always go through the proper channel. So for that, I feel like Donald Trump is wrong. I'll leave it at that. One thing I would like to just put in here for those of you who are not up to date, around 3 or 4 hours before Trump put this on Truth Social, there was an article that I found that I was going to read to you guys, and it says Iran launches missiles at U.S. military bases in Qatar and Iraq. So from what we know that they're launching missiles, how is there a ceasefire? What, they were just launching missiles for 5 or 6 hours? Sounds a little sketchy. Iran launched missiles towards the U.S. base in Qatar and Iran. Qatar Defense Ministry says they successfully intercepted the missiles and can report 0 casualties. This comes after President Trump strikes 3 nuclear sites in Iran. According to AP News, the Iran retaliation was announced on Monday on state television with a caption that called to act mighty and successful response by the armed forces in Iran to America's aggression. They attacked the Air Force in Qatar. Okay, following the attack, Qatar closed its airspace as precaution following the threats from Iran. Qatar Foreign Minister spokesman just went on to say, okay, I'm not going to get too far into it. I did hear also on the weekend that the Iranian president said that, Mr. President, you started this, we will finish it. I posted that on Out Loud Daily. So please, like I said, I'll hand it off to you. That is the information I do know. Again, I think it was 100% wrong for the Republicans, MAGA, and Trump for not letting anybody in the Democratic Party know what was going on. I think that's totally wrong. But with everything else that's going on, sound off below. Let me know what you think about it. And also let me know if you believe this ceasefire, or is this Trump just playing games, trying to insinuate and make people think that's what's coming. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, hey, they said there was going to be a ceasefire. They're not listening. He might use this as another reason to do something else. Trump tactics, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to our second lead story. All right, Diddy, day number 23. Again, we are live in the courtroom. I'm literally sitting one bench away from Diddy's mom's, kids, supporters, and maybe around 5 or 6 feet away from Diddy. For those of you who want to follow the trial, again, go to our YouTube page, Trent Out Loud. Click on the live section. We give a report 7 a.m., midday, at lunch between 12 and 1, and after court 3 or 4. Even if you don't catch the live, they're there on the page for you to watch. As always, I'm going to give a quick summary, and I always say it's going to be a quick summary. It ends up being 15 or 20 minutes. That is not what I'm going to do today. I'm really going to give you a 5-minute summary because I've gone over this at least already 3 times today. There's no reason to put it up on the same page. I understand people who are on podcast platforms are not on YouTube and not getting it, but feel free to go over to the YouTube. If you've always been on the fence, thinking if you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, now is the time. We're going to be doing a lot more lives. It's going to be a lot of action over there, okay? I'll give you guys a summary of what today was. So first of all, they started talking about the jury verdict, the jury instruction verdicts. And what that is once the prosecution rests and the defense rests, You give the jury instructions. All right, this is a RICO case. This is SEX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion, etc. This is what the charges are. This is what the government showed you. If this is the charge and this is what the witness said, you must find guilty. If this is that, they're just really just giving you what you are set out to do and the rules to follow. Having said all of that, it's still up to the juror whether they want to convict guilty or not guilty. There were a lot of back and forth on how they want the form to go, which is standard. The defense is obviously going to want things that lean towards their side, and the prosecution wants to have the summary lean to their side as well. It's just a way to kind of get the guilty verdicts out of the jury. And instead of it just being guilty or not guilty, it's, do you believe that this happened? Do you believe that this happened? Do you believe that this? So if you believe those things, then you should find this person guilty. So that was the first thing they're arguing about. They will continue to argue that on Wednesday, okay? So they went back and forth over the weekend. One of the security guards in here in the courtroom told me that he has been in this court for 25 years and he has never seen, I want to get the exact notes, he has never seen a prosecution put on such a repetitive and boring prosecution in 25 years. I tell you guys, well, not you guys, because I do it on my live. The jury is falling asleep. The people in the gallery are falling asleep. People are stretching. People are trying to stay awake. The prosecution, and we'll talk about it more in a couple of minutes, and I'll let you know what the defense has done with this. The prosecution has put on a great case, but it has been very, very repetitive and very monotonous. It's like very repetitive. You keep on hearing the same thing. And the security guard today told me that most judges would not have allowed the prosecution to submit the same testimony over and over. What I have basically come to the conclusion of is that the reason why this judge is allowing it is because it's such a high profile case. Diddy definitely wants to try, if he cannot get found not guilty, he definitely wants to try for a mistrial or an appeal. And the judge just wants to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure that he didn't stop the prosecution from putting anything else that they want to the jury. So I feel like that's why they're being repetitive, but it could be definitely to their detriment, okay? The second thing is that we talked about, or the third thing is Diddy possibly going home tomorrow, which would be Tuesday. The reason for that is tomorrow the defense is going to put on what they call Rule 29. Sorry that I'm all over here in my notes, but it's a little erratic in the courtroom. So what Rule 29 is, it's a motion to dismiss the case before they put their case in front of the jury. And what the rule says is that the prosecution has not met their burden to establish as a matter of law that Diddy has committed at least one or three of the charges that he is on trial for. So what does that mean in layman terms? Basically, as you guys know, the prosecution, they bear the burden of proof. They need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Rule 29 is, Your Honor, please don't even send this to the jury. What the prosecution put on it's not even worth bringing it to the jury because they did not prove RICO. They did not prove SCX trafficking under first fraud or coercion. It was too much hearsay, too much testimony, and not enough direct evidence. Throw it out. Now, I don't feel like there's that much grounds for a Rule 29, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an open and shut Rule 29. It could just be on RICO. And the judge was like, you know what? I agree with you. There wasn't enough evidence. We'll throw out the RICO case. And then he only has to face the two other charges. Or he could say, I think they gave enough evidence for RICO. They met their burden of proof, but they didn't show enough evidence for SEX trafficking, example. So this is something that is normal in a trial, in a defense trial. Every defense attorney has the opportunity to ask the judge to just dismiss the case before handing it to the jury. This is something they're going to try tomorrow. So make sure you tune into our live or to this podcast, and I'll let you know what the judge said. Now, more importantly, one of the, hold on, let me get back to this page. One of the really big things that I specifically spoke about today is the schedule. Now, I'm going to read you the schedule for this week coming up, and you guys let me know if you hear anything that sounds a little bit off, okay? The prosecution has one witness left on the stand, and they have done their direct. The defense is cross-examining him right now. He is a summary witness. I'll give you a little bit more detail soon. So his name is Joseph Soloni. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. So they said tomorrow, which is Tuesday, they will wrap up an hour and a half with Joseph. Then they will have the jury take a long break while the defense argues Rule 29. That's going to take all day Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, they're going to have a charge conference, which is what we spoke about before, the jury deliberation and the jury verdict instructions. They're going to work on that on Wednesday and come to a conclusion. Thursday, they're going to have closing arguments. They said each side needs 4 hours. The prosecution needs 4 hours. The defense needs 4 hours. What they're thinking is that we're going to have a very long day on Wednesday. The judge says, if all you guys can get it done in one day instead of breaking it up, I don't mind starting exactly at 9 and keeping the jury a little bit later. Normally we wrap at 3 o'clock. The judge says, if you guys can both get it done in one day, talk amongst yourselves, we'll have the jury stay a little bit late, 5, 6 o'clock, and we'll have closing arguments from the prosecution, closing arguments from the defense. On Friday, they will charge the jury, which is basically, all right, jury, you heard closing arguments from both sides. You have all the testimony. Please go back and deliberate on Friday. Now, I just took you guys through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Did you hear anything that I missed? Where are the defense witnesses? Diddy's defense team has decided that they are putting on 0 witnesses on the stand. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy's defense team went from saying they are going to prove that the United States of America, the federal government, was going after Sean Diddy Combs, who was a successful billionaire, a successful black billionaire, trying to take him down, i.e. the Diageo lawsuit that he has going on. That's what they told TMZ months ago. Then when the trial started, they said, oh, we'll see. We're not too sure of our defense. We're not too sure of the angle, but we do know we're going to need 2 or 3 weeks. Then as the trial progressed, they came and they said, oh, we're going to need 2 weeks. Then last week, oh, we need 2 to 5 days. Today, 0 days, 0 witnesses. Now, let's take 2 seconds and talk about that. As I said, every day that I'm covering this case, these are some of the best lawyers in the world, definitely one of the best defense teams ever assembled in the United States of America. They are watching the jury like a hawk day in and day out, exactly like how I am. In my live today, I broke down each juror, where they're sitting and what I think they're thinking, if they're guilty or not guilty. Make sure you check that out. It's actually a really good live. Now, this is me compared to some of the best lawyers in the US. They know what they're doing. The jury is done. They are tired of hearing about SCX traffickings and about freak-offs and about this and about that. And more importantly, the defense feels as if they used some of the prosecution's witnesses to testify on behalf of Diddy. Let me give you a very, very small example, and then I'll leave you to go over to our YouTube channel and watch it for yourself. Brendan Paul, who is Diddy's alleged DRUG mule, he testified last week, I think Thursday, Friday. Now, one of the things that the defense asked Brendan was, hey, Brendan, you were one of Diddy's assistants. Yes, I was. Okay, what were some of the things you did? Well, I set off freak-off sometimes. I would set it up and I would take it down. I would clean up. Cool. Who did you see there? Jane. Okay, so you've seen Jane multiple times at multiple freak-offs? Yes, in the beginning and the end. They asked him, I wonder if I could find the notes. They asked him, did Jane ever look like she was hesitant to you? He said, no, Jane never seemed hesitant at all. Did she ever seem like she was not willing? Nope, not at all. Here it is. Jane never seemed hesitant or not willing. And they asked her, did she ever seem like she was coerced? No, not at all. This is a prosecution witness that is supposed to be on the stand making Diddy look bad, making it look like he is force, fraud, and coercing some of these ladies. And on cross-examination, he's like, no, she seemed like she was super happy. She seemed like she was really happy to be there. So why does Diddy and his defense team need to put witnesses on the stand when the prosecution's witness is telling them the same thing that one of their witnesses would say. Another thing they asked Brendan Paul was, hey, Brendan, you're an alleged DRUG mule. We would like to know, over the 2 years that you work with Diddy, how many times did you get DRUGs for Diddy? He says more than 5, but not more than 10. And it was all in personal doses. You're trying to get Diddy on a racketeering charge, and you have a prosecution's witness saying on cross-examination that in the past 2 years, he's maybe gotten personal sizes of DRUGs for Diddy 7-8 times. Does that seem like you should charge somebody for racketeering and put them away for the rest of their lives? Now, again, I'm not saying that he's not guilty, and I'm not saying that Diddy's a good person or whatever. I'm just talking to you from a legal standpoint. The prosecution, although they did put on great witnesses, I feel like they didn't maybe prep them as well as they should for some of the questions, or maybe they put on a little too many witnesses, and any witness you put on is always susceptible to cross-examination. So you put on a witness, they give you something, but what does it give to the other side? Those are just 2 small examples. I can go on with Jane. I could go on with other people. So I feel like Diddy just feels, all right, you know what? Let's not put any witnesses on and give them an opportunity to cross any of my witnesses. They definitely feel like they have the momentum. They feel like the jury is fed up. They definitely feel like there is 1 or 2 jurors that will at least give a verdict of not guilty, and it will be a hung jury, and it's a mistrial. I think that's what he's hoping for. I really don't think that he feels like he'll be acquitted on all charges. I really don't think that. But like I said, I do not want to take too much time. And the testimony today was really, really good. There was a summary witness, back and forth with Jane and text messages. You guys should definitely go check it out on our YouTube channel. Just go over there and click the live section. You'll see it all. Let me know in the comment section below about Diddy having no witnesses, no defense strategy, and leaving it all up to the fact that they cross-examined the prosecution's witness and leaving it in the hands of the jury. There's 2 people on the jury that I see every day and I watch. I think there's 2 people, potentially 3, that will vote not guilty. That's just my assumption, just by looking at them and seeing their reactions, watching Freak Off videos, listening to text messages, 110%. All right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Christian Keys allegedly paid off to keep quiet about Tyler Perry sex harassment and allegations. All right. What happened with the Tyler Perry thing? I think it happened around Juneteenth-ish, and we were not recording. I'm sure that you guys have heard all about it, so I do not want to bore you with it. But I do have a video from Christian Keys. We'll give you a bit more information. Take a listen.
This person is a predator, and he's one of several. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. I recorded it because I didn't trust him. So if people don't believe, they can hear him.
New whispers from inside Hollywood have reignited controversy surrounding Tyler Perry, as actor Christian Keys is now rumored to have been paid off to stay silent about his past sex harassment and other allegations. All right. Back in December 2023, Christian Keys shocked fans when he went live on Instagram and described a disturbing encounter involving a Black billionaire movie producer with a distinct voice. That's the video I just played you. While Keys never named the person, many quickly connected the dots, pointing towards media mogul Tyler Perry. So, like I said, it's like the Diddy situation. Cassie came out, then the ball just starts rolling, okay? So this is one person. I definitely did hear about 2 other things happening with Tyler Perry. Again, like the Trump thing, haven't had time to do my full due diligence in there, and I will do that. Maybe I'll try to do it sometime this week. But I also kind of just want to see a little bit how it's unfolding. I think everything that's happening with Trump is kind of like quieting stuff down. But I do anticipate something coming in the works with Tyler Perry. A little birdie maybe told me. So stay tuned this week and we'll do a deep dive and unfold what's going on with Tyler Perry. For now, let me know what you think. Do you think Tyler Perry is guilty? And quickly, for those who don't know, Tyler Perry has been sued for $260 million. Actually, you know what? Now I think about it, I did tell you guys on Wednesday. I did. I put that in the last one. Whew. I've been getting no sleep, y'all. But yes, I did tell you about it. Yes, I did. I just didn't go in depth about it. There's another story that I'm just keeping, cooking. But let me know what you guys think about Tyler Perry in the comment section below. You think he did it? You think he's guilty? Or like his lawyers are saying, do you think this is a scam? Especially now about Christian Keys popping up and there's going to be a little bit more. Do you think Tyler Perry is in the wrong? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Cameron signs a multi-million-dollar podcast deal with Revolt TV for his show, Talk with Flea. All right, I thought this was really cool. Y'all know I'd like to always support content creators. Cameron's podcast, Talk with Flea, is now partnering with Revolt in a multi-million-dollar podcast deal. The podcast, hosted by the witty and carefree rapper, will now be distributed through Revolt as it produces episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Cameron posted on his IG when the news hit. He said, "No Diddy," literally in his caption, and "you N-words, no, I'm about to run with it," etc., etc. He said a bunch of other stuff. Now, why I wanted to highlight this, and why I always want to highlight stories like this, is just like how I am covering the Diddy case and I'm on the new media side and there's 14 spots, blessed to have one of them. On the other side, there's 21 for legacy media, CNN, TMZ, and we're all cool. We all talk or whatever, but it just goes to show that the future is not legacy media. You see people like Tucker Carlson, you see people like Don Lemon leaving these major networks and coming over. Shout out to Cameron for getting this deal. He has his other deal with his sports show that's weekly. And the other thing that I really love about Cam is that he is himself. And that's why he wanted to do his sports show and dress like Stephen A. Smith, dress like he's on First Take in a suit and tie, but he talks like how they would talk at the barbershop. Cameron is unapologetically Cameron all the time. Harlem, street, never mince words. And it's working. People don't only want to hear the polished legacy media. They want to get into the grit and grind. And that's why, like my lives are doing so well, because I get to come outside and be unfiltered and let you know what I'm thinking, where CNN cannot say the things that I'm saying. But anyways, let me not get too deep in it. Congratulations to Cameron. Congratulations to all my content creators out there. I love seeing anybody make progress in the podcast world. Salute, Cameron. Our third quick story. All right, I had to throw this in here quickly. This is sports news, but the amount of $10 billion, the amount of money the Buss family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers for. Breaking news. The Buss family has sold the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter for a sports record $10 billion. The Buss family purchased the Lakers in 1979 for, listen to this, $67.5 million and sold it for $10 billion 46 years later. The biggest sale of any sports team ever, $10 billion. That is amazing. A little part of me is a little sad to see the Lakers no longer in the Buss family. I have heard that they still took some sort of like minority ownership, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But shout out to the Buss family, man. Great investment. 67 to 10 billion. Shout out to the Buss family. Our fourth quick story. Brittany Renner takes off her hijab for the first time in over a year since converting to Islam. All right, we have shown you Brittany since she converted, and then when she was going out with Kevin Gates. I have definitely been following her, and I was shocked to see this. For those of you who are not seeing it, she has her hijab off, she has her afro out, and it's old school Brittany Renner. She says, "I wore cornrows underneath my hijab so my hair could fit in it." And I think she also put a caption. Oh, there was a caption. I don't know if I have it anymore. But basically, she's like, I'm not hiding who I am for nobody. So I did tell you guys that she, hold on, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, she did come out, I think it was last week, and we reported that her and Kevin Gates are divorced and she is done. I'm a little surprised that just because she's getting divorced, that maybe it looks like she's leaving Islam. I thought that she would stay in. We shall see. I'll follow up on this. And I haven't heard anything from Kevin Gates, but we shall see. Our fifth quick story, all right, and another hip-hop relationship news. You know, for somebody who doesn't like to follow relationship news, I've been talking a lot about hip-hop relationships. Offset has reportedly been spotted at a club with Stefon Diggs' ex-girlfriend, Sky Marlene, allegedly retaliation for Diggs dating Cardi B, according to multiple sources. You know what? I don't understand Offset. I really don't. It's so clear how much he misses Cardi B, how much he realizes he dropped the bag, and at least he's not following her around the concert and like begging her anymore. But every move he makes, whether it's something outlandish, whether he says, I'm not going to say anything anymore, whether he says, oh, yo, I'm getting off of Instagram because Stefon Diggs is wearing the same hairstyle like my son, whatever he tries, every week, there's always something again that pops up. Now he's going to date her ex, Stefon Diggs' ex-girlfriend to try to get back. Like, why didn't you think about this when, you know, you were jumping around from different girls on Cardi? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I actually just feel bad for Offset because he's completely lost and he's just in a bad place. Imagine you being with somebody who you don't care with just because you want to get somebody else mad because they're with your baby mama. Crazy work. Offset, get some help, brah. Our sixth quick story. Wendy Williams denies having any involvement in her ex-husband's $250 million lawsuit against her guardian, says it's a money grab. All right, I wanted to throw this in here quickly because a couple of people have been talking in my comment section like, oh, you got to talk about Wendy, And I'm like, how are you guys even thinking that Wendy has anything to do with this? Like, why? Kevin just upsets me. Y'all know that she is no longer with Kevin. He did her dirty. Like, we don't acknowledge anything Kevin does, okay? Just FYI. So anytime you see anything with her ex-husband, don't even acknowledge it, all right? Wendy Williams is not here for her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, filing a $250 million lawsuit and listing her as a plaintiff in the case. She claims she has no idea why her name is being listed and didn't even know the lawsuit was being filed. According to TMZ, she says she's not surprised giving his money-grabbing past. She calls this a desperate attempt at a cash grab. If you recall, Kevin filed a $250 million lawsuit claiming Wendy was being taken advantage of and held in involuntary confinement. He also requested that Sabrina Morrissey be released from her duties as Wendy's guardian. Wendy's legal team even responded to the suit, explaining that they didn't need any help from Kevin or his legal team. Bye, Kevin. Bye. Wendy don't need you. We don't need you. We got Wendy on our own, all right? Free Wendy hashtag. Our seventh quick story. Quickly, for those of you who care, Kanye West's album Bully is out. Part 1 is out now. It hasn't even hit anywhere on the charts. Nobody cares. I think Kanye West is it's totally over for him. He has gone too far and nobody even cares about his music, which is sad because he used to use his shenanigans to create marketing for his albums, and now it's gone so far that nobody cares about anything he says. The flip side is I have a part 2 to this story, and Kanye West and Bianca reportedly check into a $170,000 a week rehab. Is Ye finally getting the help he needs? Now, y'all know I'm a big mental health advocate, and if this is true, this would be great. However, I just told you he had a bunch of shenanigans. His album was not working. Now, all of a sudden, we hear he's in rehab. I feel like it's another ploy to be like, all right, guys, I'm done because my games are no longer working. So now I'm going to come out and be healed and not have all these crazy spats and these crazy things that I say on Twitter because now I really need you guys to buy my album because I'm going to go broke in the next couple of years. I know he's still worth $300-400 million, but the way how he lives his life, that will dwindle off pretty quickly. So again, if he is in there and he's really getting help, all the more power to him. But I think it's pretty safe to say it's not the safest thing trusting Kanye West. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, comments. comments of the day. All right, before I read the comments, y'all know I have a very important question for you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are if you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud, to get a free 14-day trial to see if any of your data has been exposed. Let me give you a little bit more information. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your cell phone or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers who sell your data, and they do it without your consent, making billions of dollars, selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. This is why I recommend today's sponsor, Outcast, to my family, friends, and out louders. It takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may have a digital security tool already, but not having Aura is like having your front door locked and keeping your back door open. All right, I do read the script every day and I have fun with it, but I always like to take a break out and say, I actually really stand behind this product. It is really great. If you use Apple Pay, if you have things loaded on your computer or anything saved, your credit cards, it's bound to leak. And I have not known anybody that has signed up for the free trial and hasn't gotten something of their information taken off the dark web. Aura is amazing. And for 14 days for free, they will show you what they can do and find any of your information that's put out on the dark web and take it down for you for free. So even if you're not interested, you can at least try that just to see how good they are. And then after the free 14-day trial, it's up to you if you want to continue, but you're able to see if any of your information is. And like I said, not one person has signed up for the free trial and not had some of their information taken down, okay? Just to add on, with Aura, you get alerts when your personal info is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts if your credit card or any banking information is found on the dark web. They also provide you a secure VPN, antitrust, and a password manager. And they also have US-based support around the clock if something does go wrong. And to top it all off, the icing on the cake, Aura also offers a $5 million identity theft insurance protection package. In the unfortunate case that something does go wrong, they give you insurance as well too. All right. Like I said, check out below, free for 14 days. I'll also throw up the QR code. Free for 14 days. Take out your phone, your camera, point it at there, follow the link. Free, absolutely free for 14 days. Nothing. And that's up to you if you want to continue. All right. Okay. So get to the questions. I'm a little late. I hope she is still listening. But Danielle says, hey, Trent, get you some lunch today. She gave me a $20, it's not called a super chat. It's called a super, hold on, let me get the proper name. Hold on. Super talk? What is it? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Because I said it wrong in a comment and then I had to answer. Yeah, super thanks. Just say super thanks. Super chat is when I'm live. She sent me a super thanks. So thank you, Danielle. And she said, I'm feeling like ribs today for my birthday. So basically, she's also telling me it was her birthday. So I wrote her back and I said, I will definitely wish you a happy birthday. So Danielle, thank you very much for the super thanks. And I wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Everybody, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danielle. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Danielle. Don't forget to check the QR code at the bottom, sign up for Aura, and let me know what they find. I hope they don't find anything, but trust me, they're bound to find something. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. No, this is comment below. Thank you guys for commenting. Keep coming your comments, and feel free if you want to send me a super thanks. Love y'all. Thanks, Danielle. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. All right, this one came as a little bit of a shocker for me. This is 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend, Cuban Links, okay? She says, 50 Cent is quite frugal. He ended our 2-year relationship after I asked him for $10,000. She recently shared in an emotional statement. She continued, ladies, think twice before dating somebody like 50 Cent. In fact, if your partner follows him on social media, that might be a red flag. During the 2 years that we were together, he never gave me a single dollar. The only gift I ever received was a wig, which he actually asked me to return the day we broke up. It wasn't even worth $100. Cuban Links goes on to explain that she never asked him for money during their entire course of the relationship, but the one time she did, requesting $10,000, he replied and said, Cuban Links, you are strong. You're a strong, independent woman. You don't need a man to take care of your bills. Here's $50. Feeling disappointed and hurt, Cuban Links ended their relationship. His final words, she claimed, were, I've been waiting to hear that for a long time. Please leave the wig on the table before you go. She concluded by saying, I truly regret falling for him, and loving 50 Cent was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. He is just extremely tight with money. Okay, now, just to be clear, I didn't see this on her actual Instagram. I went and checked and it wasn't there. But I did fact check it, and it is true what she said. That's what I've heard. But I just want to know, like, I didn't hear this coming out of her mouth 100%, or it wasn't on her Instagram. So maybe take it with a grain of salt that it might not be true, and it's maybe a blog trying to run with the story, okay? But I wanted to put it in for social discussion. Now, if you ask me, like, how could you hear of somebody that was in a relationship, a 2-year relationship, and the only reason why they broke up is that somebody was tight with money? And that's what I wanted to bring and ask you guys. Is it enough if somebody is tight with money for you to break up with them? Now, I understand, I've gone through the transition of understanding, somebody that, I'm trying to think while I talk. Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation? Mine is quality time. But I think it's something of gift giving. Okay. So I realize that that's somebody's love language. It's not mine, but I totally understand that if that's important to somebody, fine. But what I've learned and understand is that it doesn't have to be a value. So let's say somebody likes gifts. And again, I forgot. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comment section what the official thing is, right? I think it's gift giving, or maybe it's acts of service. Anyways, but I don't understand why there needs to put a value on something, right? If somebody likes something, likes gift giving, it could be, I know you wanted this pen, or the pen doesn't have to be a Mont Blanc pen. It could just be a nice pen for $50. Or if somebody likes, flowers or likes roses, it doesn't necessarily have to be forever roses, but it could be just a beautiful, flower from somewhere, a hibiscus or something, right? And I just feel like I'm starting to see more of these things come around. And is it me, and like I'm missing something? But how can you be in a relationship for somebody for 2 years? And it's like, I had to break up with him because he was frugal, because he didn't want to spend money on me. I asked him for 10 G's. I understand 50 Cent is a multimillionaire. I get that. But what does that have to do with the relationship? I would want to hear I broke up with him because he wasn't there for me emotionally. He wasn't making time for me, or, something. Oh, we didn't have the same values. Like, how, if everything else was perfect, because she didn't say there was anything else wrong. So let's just assume, it's social discussion, just assume that your man or your woman, everything is perfect. You guys get along, you like the same things, you share the same values, both families like each other, because after 2 years, you have met the family at some point. So everything is totally fine. But this person who you're with is frugal with spending money on you. Frugal. Is that enough? Is that reason to leave them? Again, when I get confused about things, I bring it to social discussion. Y'all let me know what you think. I think it is horrible. And this lets me know something about her. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. How long should a couple date before moving in together? What's too soon and what's too late? All right, first person said, I recommend you live separately forever. Woo, that's definitely coming from her place. Somebody says, honestly, the concept of dating and living in separate homes until marriage is the best. I really enjoyed the freedom of having my own. Interesting. My sister did that, actually. I met my husband and moved in with him after 3 months of dating, and we've been married for 15 years. Congratulations. Next person says, normalize dating in separate households until you are married. That's the second person that said that. Doesn't matter when you move in, real person come out when, doesn't matter when you move in, the real person comes out when you live together. That's a fact. The only correct answer is do what works for you and your person. Another person said, move in after 3 months of dating, been together 8 years and married with 4 kids. But you could be with somebody for years and break up shortly after cohabiting. Okay. I'll read one more. I don't want nobody living with me. If I ever get married, we need separate houses. Never door to eat. What? We need separate houses, never door to each other? Maybe she's trying to say close to each other. I don't know. Maybe it's goes different from what is popular out there because I see a lot of people saying date and then get married. I think it is healthier to move in with somebody prior to getting married because I believe that the real person comes out. I think somebody said that in the comment section. You need to know how you are going to live with somebody, decorating the closet, living together, how but you leave around the house. Those little things, they might seem minor, but when you live with somebody, it can really antagonize you. And these little things can build up, and then you guys don't work together. So I definitely think, moving in like before a year is a little quick. You got to know somebody. I would say definitely a year of dating. And I definitely believe you should live together with the person before you get married. Definitely. And the cheat code is go away on vacation with somebody. If you don't want to live with somebody, go on vacation with them for like 2 weeks. Not like a weekend vacation, enough that like you get comfortable with each other and, get an Airbnb. Don't get a hotel, get an Airbnb. You guys have to cook. You got to, wash the dishes. You got to wash your clothes. You got to do stuff. So it's like you're kind of living together for the 2 or 3 weeks. After the first day, oh, honey, yeah, I'll get you this. Second day, it's like, yo, pick up your underwear. Third day, yo, why are your panties here? Why is this? And then, you probably want to go home before the 3 weeks are up. So go on vacation, Airbnb. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. Okay, I'm sure most of you know by now. Congratulations, OKC. And congratulations, Trent out loud. I was wrong in some of the games, but I did say that the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to win the chip. Along the way, I must admit, I caught myself rooting a little bit for Indiana Pacers just because of their resiliency, just because of how their comeback game was almost like no other. And if they would have won in a game 7, that would have been storybook. I love the Cinderella story. So although I wouldn't say I was like really rooting for OKC because none of them are my team, by the way. But I just knew OKC was going to win. I found myself, after halftime or even before halftime started, like really rooting for Indiana Pacers. So sad to see what happened to Halliburton, that he tore his Achilles heel. The biggest game of his life, game 7. Trust me, there's a bunch of people getting in his ear saying, don't go out, don't try to play. But these guys grow up their whole entire life living for a day like that from since they were young. This is what they train for. This is what they work for. You're not going to be able to take off an athlete, a professional athlete, off the court. That's the same thing that happened to KD when he was playing in Toronto. Not playing for Toronto, when he's playing for the Warriors against Toronto, and he tore his Achilles heel. If he didn't tear his Achilles heel, Toronto would not have had the chip. Listen, I'm happy that Toronto won, but truth is the truth. So just really unfortunate what happened to Halliburton, and now he's got to be out a whole year just for one game, trying to win one more game. Couldn't his Achilles heel just hold up for one more game? 48 minutes. Anyways, man, shout out to OKC, well-deserved. Shout out to SGA, MVP. Shout out to OKC. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. It was a good show. Again, sorry that it took me so long to get back. Juneteenth turned into Friday. It was a travel day, Sunday. I didn't have my equipment with me. There's no way I could have gotten the show up. But we are back on schedule. Again, there won't be a Friday show that we are not doing. Well, sorry. Yeah, well, there will be a Friday show. My bad, because we'll do a Thursday night. We'll do a Thursday night, Friday morning. There just won't be a Friday night special because I'm already at the courthouse. You'll check it out live. Okay. So there is Monday night, Tuesday morning. Let's just do the mornings. Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning. Okay. There'll be 4 shows this week. We're doing 4 shows a week until the Diddy trial is up. Then we'll go back to our regular schedule program where we'll give you Monday to Friday morning. All right. Going to wrap it up right now. Thanks again for Aura for sponsoring. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring the comment section. Here is the QR code one more time. Make sure you all sign up. It is free. It is the best digital security platform. Trust me, there's something of your information out on the dark web. Somebody using your information without you knowing, they can get it off the dark web and keep it off for free. And that's up to you if you want to continue after that. Okay. Make sure you check them out. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching the show on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or ever going in a car and you don't have access to internet, do not worry. Our show is available on all podcast platforms. You can just download the show and take us with you, okay? Now, vice versa, for my podcast listeners, please, thank you so much for your downloads, but please come over to YouTube. If any time that I've asked you to come over to YouTube is now. We do not put the lives daily on our podcast. You have to come over to YouTube and check out our lives. It is so good. I'm having so much fun. It's a vibe. Trust me, come over. Just click the YouTube tab live and check out the, if you don't even want to watch all 3 of them, at least watch the daily wrap up. It's really good. It's really fun. Also, when you're over here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button to get the algorithming. Please comment, even if you don't go to the live section and you're just watching these daily podcasts, please try to comment. I talk to this camera daily by myself. I ask questions. If you guys don't answer me back, I literally look crazy. I'm here talking to myself. So please try to comment. For those of you who don't want to join the conversation, totally understand. At least try to comment. Let me know where you are watching from. I know this is a global podcast. It just makes me happy to let me know where you're writing in from, all right? If you guys are really, really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it definitely helps us in growing the channel. Lastly, for those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms. And it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. And I'm the most active on Instagram. I put a lot of your comments in my stories, so check me out there. Also, we have a blog page on Instagram, Out Loud Daily, because, we out here daily, You know what I'm saying? We out here daily being out loud. So check us out on Out Loud Daily on Instagram. We post the stories before we cover them on the podcast, and also when the podcast wraps, we post stories to let you know what we're going to be talking about today. All right. So, and also to things that are copywritten that we can't play in full on YouTube, we put it over there on Instagram. So make sure you follow officially Out Loud Daily. Sorry, we just changed it. Out Loud Daily. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I will see you tomorrow. I promise I won't let you down. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.